Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. We are going to make a album cover today, and we're going to do the binding strips, the fins that we're going to attach the pages to for our mini album. So we're going to start that today, and I am going to make the cover with you, and I'm going to make it once again in a different way. And I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to show you different options, but I'm just going to make it one way because I make covers all the time with you guys. And sometimes I know there's new folks and they're just, they want to see multiple ways of doing things, so I'll switch it up every once in a while. But I just want everyone to know that, I don't know why this is so controversial, but there are so many ways to make album covers. There's just no one right way at all, ever. There's nothing that you can't overcome. If you don't have the right supplies, you make do with what you have. And as I make this cover, I will mention different things that you could possibly use instead of, okay? So again, there is no one way to make a cover. There is no right way, wrong way. There is only the way that you want to make your cover. There is only the way that you can make your cover. That's the way you make it, the way you want to make your cover, okay? But this is my favorite, well, this is one of my favorite ways of making mini album covers. And the album that we're going to start, well, we actually started it right before Thanksgiving, which, by the way, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I didn't have a video after Thanksgiving because of, we have Thanksgiving at our house for my side and his side, and it's a great big to-do, right? Everybody knows that, that hosts holidays, family holidays, it's a big deal. And then we just we're just blah on Friday, and then yesterday was my son's birthday, my youngest son's birthday, so I just haven't been able to film a video, but I'm filming one today, and hopefully I'll get it done and ready and have it out for you tomorrow. So we're going to try to get back on track. So tomorrow should be December 1st. So we are starting the actual creation of the album on December 1st, the Christmas album that we are making. So there is a video playlist for this album, and it starts with the introduction to the new set of templates, which is the mini album mashup album 2, and we are using the ornament background design. Sorry, this is the only one I've got sitting right here. Hang on. I said sorry, like it's bad. I put gold splatters on this one. That doesn't come on the print, okay? When you print this page out, that's not there. Here's another way to look at it. I put some washi, I printed washi from the printable paper that we're using, and then some ephemera bits. I just stuck that down for a second. So the paper, the playlist, sorry. So I will link the playlist up here. So it starts with the introduction to the album templates. Then I talk about what products we're going to be using, and that is all in the second video. So this is the paper collection we're using. It's a Katie Petite. It's a printable collection. It's on her website. It's called Christmas Spectacular. And the previous video, the one in the playlist, I'll have it linked. I don't know if I already said that. I'll link it up here. I'll have it linked. It is all the things that we're using from her website from this collection is in that video, and it's also linked down below in this, and it's all linked in the description box down below if you want to check it out. I believe if you're watching this like in real time, I believe that it's on sale right now. So it's December 1st 2025, and I'm pretty sure it's on sale. It was on sale. I should probably check that, but I think it's on sale. So if you want to snatch it up, now would be the time to do it. But everything is linked in the description box, including the set of templates. There is a quote-unquote collections list that has this exact set of templates in it that I'm using for this project, which you don't have to have the background design that I'm using. You can not use one at all. You can just use her printable papers. It has any of the other printable things from my shop in that collections list. So it's just one link. You hit it. It may take a second or two to get to my Etsy, but once it's there, it'll show you everything that I'm using. So that way there's no confusion. There will also be links to like Amazon and other places that I get my favorite supplies, like adhesives, magnets, so on and so forth. But there is a special Amazon list for this project as well, so you can see all the stuff that I'm using. Okay, so today we're going to be constructing mini album covers, okay? And I'm gonna put this aside. And all we gonna need, I'm telling you guys, woo! And it's hot. My husband's got a fire going, and I'm upstairs in the loft, so the heat rises, and the fire is just literally right down on the other side of the banister there, and it's warm. I mean, it's like a sauna in here. Okay, so what you need is page 1 out of the set of templates is the template for the cover, so we need that. And we really don't need the mat, so I'm going to take that off. Sometimes that's confusing for people. They don't quite understand when I say, here's the cover template, and then on top of it, it says mat for page 1. This is a workbook that I made. I didn't make this workbook on video, but I did make the mashup one on video, and I made this the exact same way. I will link that video up here. At least I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I think I did. And then we're gonna make 4 pages this time. So this is the spine piece for the 4 pages. We don't need the mat for that. This is the spine piece, so we're gonna take this piece. We're gonna put the mat back there. And then I printed page 3. Sorry about the glare there. I printed page 3, which is the binding strips and the mats for the binding. So these also will reinforce your binding strips that'll be attached to your covers. So I printed this onto cardstock, and this is 80-pound white cardstock. I have it linked in my Amazon list, and I printed the one with the ornament background design on it. Now, I don't know, we may not use the ornament background design when we go to do our finishing. Let me show you. This was the last album that we created. So we created a 2-fin album for Halloween. This is the last album that we created. I'll link this whole playlist up here if you want to check it out. But this is what I mean by when we mat. So when we're finished building our pages, I'm going to then come back and we're going to mat these fins. And it'll also reinforce this seam here, this space here where the spine piece and the binding strip meet. We're going to be reinforcing that with the mats for this page. So, and it also gives it a very clean look. Can you see that? A very clean look. So, you see? So that's what the mats will end up doing, and we may end up, because you can see it, we might end up using some of the pretty printable paper for the mats for that, right? So we may not end up using that part at all. So anyway, so that's all we're going to need out of the templates is I printed that page off. Also, I wanted to say, I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but I had a question. Well, this is not a question. I get asked about printer settings and how to use your printer and how to change settings and all the things. I get asked these questions every day. I did try to learn today how to screen record what I'm doing on my computer. And I think I've figured it out. And the reason I'm talking about this right now is because this paper collection, this is just one of the sheets. This paper collection is very vibrant and beautiful, right? It's a beautiful green color. Well, a lot of people are saying, well, why mine is not printing like yours? Mine isn't printing the same way. How do you get it to look so vibrant? You know, how are you getting it to look that good? So I really don't know how to explain it with words. I mean, I do, but it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and I understand that too. But I can only show you what my printers can do. I can't show you what your printer can do, because your printer might be made from a different manufacturer, or it might be made in a way different time period. It might have been made 10, 20 years ago, which settings could be different. Mine are not that old, I don't think. My laser printer might be that old, but I don't think my Epson EcoTank printer is that old, which, if you want to see what kind of printer I have it linked in my Amazon list. It is not available anymore, but it may show you a similar item. But I use a wide format printer because sometimes I do print bigger things, you know. But So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to show you exactly the different settings that you can change in order to get different quality of print, get different tones. Like a lot of people say, well, my printer is always so red. I can try to show you where you can knock that down a bit in your printer settings. And again, it's not going to be across the board, everybody's printer is going to be the same. So I'm just going to attempt to make a video about it, and we'll see if that helps you guys. Or at least gives you, okay, well, I didn't know those settings were available anywhere in my printer setting. And then you just go start searching around and you're like, okay, yeah, oh, there it is. You know, so sometimes it might be just a little suggestion of, hey, if you maybe clicked this setting and it doesn't look like it would do anything very important, but then it opens up all this other stuff and you're like, oh, well, there we go. So that's what I'm going to try to do. It won't be an end-all be-all of how to use every printer on earth, but it will give you maybe some jumping off points where you can just be like, oh, well, okay, I didn't know printers could do that. So let me go see if I have that setting or something similar too. So I'm going to try. I've never done a screen capture thingy before, so we'll see how that works out. And it might take me a while, but I'm going to give it a whirl. So wish me luck. And I'll try to make it as detailed as possible for you guys as well. So I'm just going to try to give you as much information as I can without it being too crazy confusing, which it probably will be anyway. But hey, I'll give it a good go. And hopefully I can get that done soon, like sometime this week. We'll see. Oh boy, there's timestamps below if you need to jump around. I know you probably know that already. So these are the only things we're going to need from the template. I have 2 sheets of chipboard. This is medium weight chipboard. I think it's 30 point. I have it linked in my Amazon list if you want to check it out. This is my favorite chipboard. It is smooth, it's sturdy, it's strong, it's not rough. 12 by 12. You can even get them by 8.5 by 11s if you want. So you can get them in a smaller size if you want, or whatever size it is that you use. I'm sure craft stores and stuff also have chipboard that you can buy. This is just the best quality one that I found so far. So I've got 2 sheets. I don't know if I'll need 2 sheets. I might not need 2 sheets. Yes, I will. I got 2 sheets, and these are 12 by 12. And if you're using like an 8.5 by 11, I still think you should be able to get it on 1 sheet. Let's see. Let's just have a look. Yeah, you could do 1 sheet, and then you could do another sheet could be another cover. So if you have 2 sheets of 8.5 by 11, if that's what you have. So we need this, and then I use tape. I use double-sided adhesive. This is a 6-inch row. This is linked in the description box, and it is a very good value. They almost always have it on sale. If you don't have double-sided adhesive, you can use glue stick. You can use Fabri-Tac. You can use white glue. You can use tacky glue. You can use tape runner. You can use whatever glue that you can get your hands on. But this is what I like to use. But you can use whatever you want. Glue stick, wet glue, doesn't matter. I like to use this. And then the other thing I like to use is, this is binding tape. Is that what it's called? Binding tape? Is it book binding tape? I thought I kept the package so I could show you. Maybe not. You wouldn't believe the amount of packages I keep so that I can show you stuff, and then I forget that I keep it. But it's linked in the Amazon list because that's where I purchased it. But it doesn't tear. So if you don't have this, if you don't have this tape, you can use a fabric. You can use a fabric. You can use, I was getting ready to say Teflon. Tyvek, which is a white, plasticky almost feeling. It doesn't tear. You can use anything that doesn't tear. Now that I think about that, you know, I bought something. Let me find it. sorry about that. So I bought, these are online labels that are matte. I'm gonna grab one. That's the brand, Online Labels. They are clear matte sticky paper, and I thought they might be like washi tape. Like, not washi tape. I thought it might be like the washi paper, but I cut it into pieces. I was going to show you guys this in another, I don't know why this is bent like that. I was going to show you in another video, but I printed, this is one of the papers from the paper collection. I printed it off and I tried to tear it. Now, the paper will tear. The paper will tear just fine. But this stuff here, I can't get it to tear. Like washi paper tears. So I guess technically you could use something like this. Should we give it a go? Do you think we should give it a go? Just because, why not? I wonder how sticky. I mean, it's pretty sticky. Interesting. Well, I guess it's worth give it a go. Let's give it a go. So anywho, that's what I'm saying is it's okay. Use whatever it is that you have. I mean, why not, right? Why not? You can use any sort of fabric, any sort of, even if it's an old clothing item. It's just something that's not easy to tear. It will be about folding in over edges, you know, that kind of thing. So like paper will tear. Paper will tear, you know, so you want to use something that won't tear so easily. And I'm pretty rough with my albums. Not like, I don't like throw them over, you know, the balcony or anything, but I'm pretty rough with my albums. And I've never, not one single time, knock on wood, have ever had one tear on the seams, you know, on the binding seams. So, so just use whatever it is that you have, you guys. Just use whatever you have. You don't have to have all the fancy fandangled things. Okay, we're not going to use that. I'm going to put it in my Amazon list anyway, but I'm going to use this. Let's try it out and let's see what happens. So that makes me wonder. It makes me, I've got another thought, and I'm going to, ooh, no, before we have that thought, let's see how other adhesives work on top of here, because if things won't stick to it, then I can't use it, you know what I mean? So let's try that. Maybe I should experiment off camera before I do make a whole album cover with you guys. That's normally something I would do. So we'll see. We'll do it like this. I'm going to try to glue a piece of paper down, a piece of cardstock down to it, and let's just see what happens. All right, I'm going to leave this sit to dry really quick while we trace out everything else. Okay. So first thing we're going to need is, let me just grab one. When you're working with your chipboard, you need to test it to make sure that you have it the right way. There's a grain, right? So I'm going to hold it up this way. So if you try to bend it, right? Okay, you see how it's bending there. Now I'm going to rotate it and then watch. Right, I'm going to rotate it back. I'm doing the same amount, right? So you want that to be sturdy that way. Somebody's walking up to my door. Okay, so you need to test your chipboard first so it doesn't do any sort of weird warping. And then I'm going to trace these out with a pencil. And I'm going to go ahead and put the spine piece up here, right up next to it. Trace this out. And then I'm gonna grab one more. I'm gonna test it. Okay, and I need one more cover. Okay, so I don't need these anymore. I'm going to put them aside. I tell you what, you guys, having family functions, man, it's just overwhelming. It just overstimulates me to a point where I'm just like, I need to be alone. Are y'all like that, or is it just me? Okay, so now I'm going to get my craft mat out. This is one of those self-healing craft mats. And I'm going to turn it a little bit. And a craft knife. Actually, let me get the one that I know everybody can get a hold of. This is a Scotch craft knife. And I'm going to get a ruler. This one is it's got some grippies. It's got creative grids. It's got some grippies on it so it doesn't slide around as easily. But use whatever ruler you have. Just slow and steady wins the race here. Okay. Wow, I'm just full of little sayings today, aren't I? I apologize. I swear, I'm so sorry. So I'm just going to line it up there, and I'm just going to slowly cut through this chipboard. Now, if you don't have this type of chipboard, you can make your own. You can recycle some cereal boxes. You can glue a couple together, like use some like some white tacky glue or what do they call that? PVA glue, and set some heavy books on it. You know, glue two pieces together and then you can cut it out, and that makes a thick enough book cover. You can do that as well. You can use the backs of paper pads. You know, you can glue several layers together to make it thick enough for the album that you're making. So you don't have to have, you know, you can recycle, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're just going to keep cutting. So you just go gentle, steady pressure. The harder you press, the harder it's going to be to cut through. I know that sounds backwards, but it's not. So you just need to be gentle. Okay, there's two pieces. One more. Okay, so there's my pieces. I'm going to move these out of the way so I don't get them confused. Okay, so we're going to put this piece aside for a second. Okay, well, first, before we put any tape anywhere, let me show you this. In the last album that we made, I used a full sheet. This is a 11 by 17 sheet of paper. This is literally just like copy weight paper. I just used a full sheet and I put everything, well, I had put the tape and I made like a full like cover, right? And then I wrapped it, I just laid it, I put tape all over it, laid it down, wrapped the edges. But some people don't have these big pieces of paper. So that's one way, and if you want to see that way, I will link that video here. That way you don't have to go through the whole playlist if you don't want to. That's one way. So we're going to do it a different way today because, oops, that tape's trying to come back up. Because not everybody has fuller, larger sheets of paper. So 11 by 17 is 8.5 by 11. You know, two 8.5 by 11s side by side is basically what they are. So it's just a bigger sheet of paper. So today we're going to use two 8.5 by 11 sheets. And I do coffee stain my paper. I like that look Sharpie. I like that look better than white. Also, my camera likes this better than this. okay? So that's 2 reasons why I use the coffee stained paper. It doesn't have to be coffee stained paper. It can just be regular paper that you don't do anything to, and then you just ink the edges. So for camera purposes, I choose the coffee stained paper. It's very light. Some pieces are more so than others, but I'm going to be using coffee stained paper. Okay, so then I'm going to move this out of the way. The next step is I'm going to add adhesive to the front and the back cover. I'm going to leave this one alone for now, but I'm going to add adhesive to this, and I am going to use my double-sided adhesive. Again, you could use liquid glue if you don't have this. You can also buy this in sheets, like 8.5 by 11 sheets, or smaller sometimes sheets, but my favorite is the rolls. Well, I like the big sheets too, like the 8.5 by 11s too, but anyways. So this brand that's linked down below, it's my favorite, and it's the most, you get the most bang for your buck. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that out, lay this down on top. I'm going to cut it away. I need a sheet. I didn't really prepare today for a video because like I didn't get everything out and ready because I have very limited time today. So I was like, we just gotta go. We just gotta go. We gotta do it. So this is the 8.5 by 11 sheets, which are nice too. These are really nice. But I use the backing of those to cut and put pieces like this on there so that I don't waste it, because I don't like to waste all of this good adhesive. Oh. Of course, if you were to use, let's say you used cardstock instead of paper, quote unquote paper. If you use cardstock, you might not have to use this much adhesive, because I've done that in the past too, where I've wrapped my covers with cardstock and I don't cover the whole piece of chipboard with adhesive. I just use glue or tape the edges, go one down the middle. So it just really depends. You just do whichever is best for you. So there's one. Then I burnish it down so that way the adhesive will stick to the chipboard. All right, let's do it one more time. Okay. All right, saving all the bits. Oh, looks like I just messed that one up. Well, shoot. See if I can't get it back under there. I mean, I do. I save all the bits. I've got bunches in here. So, keep them. They are useful. Okay, so now we got those two covered. So I'm going to grab one of the 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. I'm going to flip it over to the darker side. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I just want it the lighter side to be facing out. So now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to flip it this way. Let's double check. It's going to be barely enough to go on the top and bottom, but it is going to be enough. So I'm not concerned about that. So I'm going to peel back the paper. Well, maybe if I can get a hold of it. There we go. The paper backing on the tape. So you see the adhesive is is there. And I'm going to line up one edge to edge over here. Try to center it, but again, not crucial. Gonna burnish that down. Alright. I'm going to do both of these the same, but I am just going to do one with you on camera, and then I will do the other one off camera just to kind of save some time for editing and things. And then I'm going to grab some 3/8 inch tape. This brand, this is another brand. I go back and forth between score tape, and this one is cherry on top. And then scrapbook.com, I don't think they have a 3/8 inch tape. They might. I don't recall though. But this is my favorite size to use for fins and tabs. So I have a lot of it. I'll have to look. They might. So this, let me see. I'm gonna go look real quick, just because I'm curious myself. Well, I don't have one that's from scrapbook.com, but I do have, this is the one I'm using right now. This is the cherry tape, and then this one is the score tape, so it's 3/8 inch by 60, 3/8 inch by, this says 60 yards. This one says 27 yards. So I imagine this is a better value, but I've got a ton of this. I bought like a box of like 40 or something. I don't know. I've got a ton of this one. And I've only got a few more rows of this one left. So you'll probably be seeing this before too long. But anyway, so just use what you have, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Those are the ones that I have, and I like that size, and I don't think scrapbook.com has that size. I could be way wrong, but I think they have everything else, all the other sizes, just not that one. Okay, so this is a right angle tool that I used to cut my tape, but I'm also going to use it to trim the corners here to wrap it. So I'm just going to remove this excess piece here. Then I'm going to take this piece right, and I'm just going to set it in the corner. I'll have this linked down below. Set it in the corner and do that. Set it in the corner, do that. Then I'm going to do kind of like a prep. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm wrapping this right now. So I'm just basically training my paper to fold around the edges. I like to do the top and bottom of my covers and then do the side. So I'm going to take the tape backing off of one of these. And I'm going to stand up on the side, and then I'm going to flip it over. So because I'm using thinner paper, that was no problem at all. That did not give me any trouble at all. You might have to burnish and push and burnish and push a little bit more if you're using cardstock. Also, if you're using liquid glue, you just put the glue on there, and then you just kind of have to keep working it until it stays stuck, okay? I'm gonna flip it around and do this side. Okay, glue all over my little. This is a stylus that has like a pointy end. It comes in a set of 3. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to take this piece off. Did I get that wrong? No, that's right. Take this piece off, that paper backing. I'm going to kind of tuck my corners. I'm just going to press down where the two overlap. Cover it over. So you'll see that makes a nice, neat little wrapped cover. Nice and neat corners, except for the one raw edge. We can leave that for now. So I'm going to do the other one really quick, and I'll be right back. Both of my covers are covered, wrapped, 3 sides. I left the one side unwrapped. Just burnish that down just a little bit better. Right, so we got both of these covered. So let me test. Here's the paper. Here's this thingy. Let me see if stuff will stick to it. Yes, it will. I'm ripping the paper. That's good. Okay, it will stick. Will that stick? I might have to use... That came right off though. Well, I'm gonna try. Okay, but if not, just use this. Just use something like this. I'm gonna try to use this, what is this called? I'm gonna try to use the online matte clear label paper. I'm gonna try. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, let's see, I'm just gonna hold this here. I'm just gonna guess of where I'm gonna put it and how much space each one needs. So 3/4, I'm gonna do 3/4 on each side. So I need 4-inch strip. So, oh wow, I moved it off the edge there, good grief. I'm gonna do a 4-inch strip. Like that. So we'll see, you guys. We shall see if this is a good idea or not. I'll be the guinea pig. Okay. So I'm gonna try to. Whoa! Don't wrinkle up on itself. Oh, I will tell you all. This stuff smells so bad. Like, I don't know how long the smell is there. Like, the printed one doesn't smell as bad now, but ooh, buddy. The actual label itself. Whew. All right, where's my thingamabobber? Here, let me do. No, that's not gonna help me any. Okay, so I'm gonna do 3/4 on each side. So since I can see, I'm gonna try to line it up. Wow, I didn't get it perfectly centered top and bottom, but we're gonna go with it. Okay. All right, let's see what it looks like on this side. Okay, all right. And if this is a mistake, then I'll just remake my covers. Okay, well, since we can see through this, I can line this back up. On my craft mat here. I'm going to take the raw end that's not wrapped. I'm going to leave 1/4 inch in between, and I'm going to match up the top and bottom of my cover here. I'm going to just follow the line. Wow, I'm a little shaky. All right, I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to do the same thing here. Oh, is that crooked? That is so crooked. Will I be able to... How did I get that on so crooked? I thought I did a good job. It might just be too late. Oh well. Oh well. We're going to try it again. Okay, got it on a little crooked. Hopefully it won't be that noticeable. Wow. So I'm basically leaving about 1/4 of an inch in betweens. That's what I like to do. Not everybody does, but that's what I like to do. I'm going to flip this over this way. And I'm going to burnish. How do you think this is going to turn out, you guys? Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. I'm going to flip this back over. Alright, now I'm going to flip the ends up and over. Like this. Flip this up and over. Okay. I wonder if that, I wonder what that noise means exactly. Okay. So I think just to be on the safe side, well first, let me get this piece back out. I need another 4-inch piece. So I'm going to cut that really fast. Uh-oh. Shifted a little bit. Is that going to matter? Nope. And then I'm going to cut it down to the mat size for the cover, which is around about, you guys, around about 10 inches tall. Give or take 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay. So this time I am not going to take the whole backing off. I'm just going to take part of it, maybe. Okay. So what I would like to do is I would like to get like some situation like this here. So I'm going to lay it on here. Doesn't have to be exact. I don't know why I'm trying to be so exact about it. And what I would like to do is just get the edge back a little bit. Just the one side. So I can get that tacked down. I felt like I got that crooked too, but I'm okay. Okay, so I'm wondering how well this will stick to itself, right? Oh, that's what I was going to do. I'm going to put some glue. I'm going to put some white glue, I think. Let me grab the big bottle so I don't have to fight. This is just PVA glue. I'm just, whoa! I didn't mean for that much. I am going to just, in the middle here, I'm just going to put some white glue. Let's see if that does any good in helping things stay stuck. It's going to look wild until we get it covered. Okay. Take off some more. I am crooked as all get out. Okay. So we might have unintentional crinklies. All right, this isn't working. All right, this is not working. This is not working. So let's get this off of here. Look at there. I mean, it was gonna stick. It just wasn't sticking very well to itself. So, okay. Lesson learned. Hang on. So I'm going to go ahead and take all this off like that. And I'm going to trim. Let's see. Can I get it to stick back down, or is it done for? Let's do this. Okay, so this is not a good idea. This paper, this label paper, it didn't work like I wanted it to, but that's okay. We shall overcome. I'm going to put some double-sided adhesive on here. We'll stick this back down. It is okay, you guys. We've got to pivot. I mean, this is just stuff you've got to experiment to learn. I still think it would do well. It just doesn't want to stick to itself. Which is weird. You would think it would stick to itself like pretty good. Okay. And maybe the glue, maybe adding the glue in there messed it up. I don't know. But we're not going to do that again. We're going to add regular tape. Where's my piece? Didn't I cut a piece? No, I did not. So I'm going to put, look at all that. Whoops, now I got glue on my ruler. All right, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 2-inch tape. Oh, here we go. I've got 2-inch tape. I'm going to run 2-inch tape on 8.5 by 11 here. I'm going to do side by side because I need a 4-inch piece, right? I don't know. Well, at least a 4-inch piece. I'm going to cut it down. I don't know why I'm doing that. I just do this like this. So we're just gonna pivot. We're gonna fix the boo-boo. So now we know we should not be using that. I mean, it's gonna work. It's gonna work, but if that's what you got, then use it. All right, now I'm gonna cut this down. What did I say? 10? I said 10. Cut this down to 10. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this down to 10. Or fabric, or just use your ruler. Or tie back. This is bookbinding tape. I think Line Co. is the brand. So 2 strips of this. Did I cut that other one 11 or 10? Hopefully 10. Yep, 10. I'm gonna bring this back over and I'm gonna put this on here. We're gonna cover each seam. I always try to get that with my fingers and I can't. So I'm gonna cover it like this. Right, so we'll just do this. Get the same for this. And it could have worked had I not put the glue there. I thought I was doing myself a favor by adding the glue, but it may not have helped at all. So it may have just caused the problem. So there's that too. But I am not going to wait for that to dry and try again. When I know this will work. Okay, flip this over. Okay. Glue stuck on there. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is before I put this piece down, so this piece is going to cover all of that. Well, most of that. But before I do, I have already cut the two mats that are going to go on there, and I'm going to put those on first. Because, and then I'm going to put this on. Because we'll end up putting something else over top, and that way it'll hide this seam or this seam, whichever seam, you know, there's going to be. It will hide it better because it'll cover this, if that makes any sense. So I need to put some tape. And again, I'm going to use this adhesive here. I think I need a sharper blade. Do you guys know how to change the blades on these? Would you like me to show you? I'll show you. I'll show you right now. Okay. Oh no, I don't need that. Okay, so with these, you'll see that it's got all these little notches on there. Do you see that? Do you see the little, so I've got glasses on, so I'm not worried. Actually, I'm going to take two because it looks like, well, no, one should be good. So I'm going to take one of these. These are like flat, kind of, what are they called? Plier? What are these called? I don't know. It's a tool. And I'm going to take it back an arch. I'm just going to break that tip off, and then I'm going to put it in some tape like that so that it doesn't hurt anybody. And I'll probably, as a matter of fact, I'll do it now before I forget. I'll probably wrap it a few more times just in case. We don't want anybody to accidentally cut themselves on that. So it's just as simple as that. Now I've got a fresh cutting blade. One more. So now I'm going to take the tape backing off. Let's do this corner over here. Is that the, oh, that's the bad one. I want that down here. It'll still be covered. So I'm going to take the corner up a little bit, and I'm just going to line it up. Just like that. Move the tape backing, press it down, burnish it. Okay, do the same to this side. I don't think these have any corners that are bad. But it's not going to matter. You just see, it's not going to matter. Okay, and then last but not least, when it comes to these covers, let me double check to make sure everything is burnished down real good. I'm going to put this piece right here. So you'll see that it covers all of these edges. Well, no, it doesn't. Where's my other piece? Uh-oh. Where's my other piece? Did I not make it? Oh, for crying out loud. You guys. This isn't it. This is the inside piece. I need to do the outside piece first. Is this? I thought I already cut it. Well, I didn't. Is this 4 inches? Close. All right. Okay. I'm just going to use this. I thought I already did this, you guys. I apologize. So, it wasn't last but not least. Let's cover the spine. I'm going to lay this out again instead of getting my 2-inch back out. I'm just going to, I got to trim this down anyway. So I'm just going to lay this on here. This one's going to wrap around the edges. I don't know. I just don't know. But this is how crafting happens, right? Like, do you guys do everything perfect the first time round, the first go round? No, you just have to keep adapting. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're adapting. And I don't know where this black stuff is coming from, but I really would like for it to go away. Go bye-bye. But anyway, so yeah, you just got to keep trying and keep working it out. Oh, I'm going to be cutting this down anyway. I don't have to be that precise. Until you get what you need. Uh-oh. Nope. I need another blank sheet. There we go. Well, that one just stuck to my thing. Okay. Now, let me burnish this and we're going to trim it down. I want 4 inches. Let me get my paper trimmer. So I'm going to trim it on both sides so that I got a clean edge, that there's no adhesive sticking out. So I'm just going to make it to 4 inches. So you can see how if you had a longer sheet of paper, that this would be a lot easier to do. Wouldn't be near as complicated, near as many steps. But we don't always have that. So we're going to do it this way. We're just figuring it out. Okay. I'm going to flip this over. Now I need to be careful because I need to make sure I have enough to wrap around each side. So I'm just going to pull one piece back like this. And I'm going to hold on to it. All right. Hopefully that will be good. Okay. Everybody hold your breath. Wonderful. Good job. Very good. Everybody did good. Everybody did good. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap this around. I'm going to wrap this around like so. It's very snuggly wuggly, but that's okay. I'll burnish that real good in just a second. Same here. Wrap it around. I'm kind of feeling kind of comical at the moment, you guys, because I did not see this going this way, but that's okay. I'm not going to cut it out either. I'm just going to leave it in and let you guys see all the boo-boos and all of the errors, because that's real life. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece. This is the last piece before we add the binding. I'll take this piece. Flip this around, and I'm going to match it up to this side before I lay it down to that side, because I took that piece of tape off. And so you have to remember that these things are going to get matted, and pockets or things like that are going to be added on to these covers. So all of these little imperfections, things that might be showing, will not be showing at the end, because they will have pretty paper over top, or embellishments, or envelopes, pockets, flips, flaps, all the things. It will be matted again, so it will be nice and clean and neat. Okay. This is just to cover all of the chipboard and to make a nice, good, sturdy cover. Alright, so I'm just kind of pressing in the in the spine piece there. That, what do you call this? The hinge part of the spine. Push this down really good. Do it that way, and then do it this way. Do a little wiggle wiggle. It's a little dance. I'm doing a little dance behind the camera here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Sorry. Now I'm just getting slap happy. I think I'm getting so hot. Whew. Here, let me cool you off too. You feel that? Woo! Okay. Well, that was a journey. Good grief. There's that black piece again. So at the end of the day, all of those little boo-boos are gone. Who cares? They're gone. They have been made to disappear. All right. Yay. All right, so I'm going to put this aside, and we are going to do the binding strips. All right. So I'm going to grab the sheet we printed off from the beginning, and I'm going to cut around. We're going to need this section and this section. So just leave it together for now. And then we're going to put the matte part, this section, we're going to stick this over to the side because we won't use this till we're done. So don't lose it. Okay, I'm going to... This is a Fiskars Precision, I think heavy duty, I don't know, blah blah blah. It's got a whole big old long name. I have several listings linked in the Amazon list, so you can check it out. Right now, they should be on sale. If they are, I don't know, but they should be because we're on Christmas time. But anywho's. All right, so see what we did here. We did 3 together and then 3 together. Oops, upside down. We left those sections together, okay? Gonna get my scoreboard out. And I am going to score all the inside lines. Somebody asked me about these lines recently, and I just put them there to help me line up the top and the bottom of my printed score lines. But it also, I have them at 3, 6, 9, and 11, and I finally figured out why I have it on 11, because sometimes my paper is longer and I need to be able to scoot it over. So, but that's all they're for. Just to keep me in line when I am scoring the score marks that print out on my templates. So I'm gonna flip these over and burnish them. Burnish them. I'm burnishing them with my fingers at the moment. But I'm also gonna burnish them with a bone folder. This is a ergonomic. It's the same thing as this, just a different shape. So whichever one you happen to have, they do the same. They do the same thing. Better not do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, before I ink these up, I am going to put tape on because I feel like tape sticks better when you don't have ink on the paper yet. So I'm going to use, I'm pretty sure the 1/2 inch is too big for, yeah. I'm going to use the 3/8 inch in the middle here of the skinnier one, just in the middle, right smack in the middle of the middle section there. And then, I guess, let's see what other sizes I've got. I've got 1 inch over here, because it's 2 inches definitely too big. So I bet you I could do 1 1/2. So I'm going to do a 1 inch. This is 1 inch. Or you can just do multiple strips of whatever you have. Or you can use liquid glue. So whatever you have is what you use, and you make it work. Okay? That's how that rolls. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch. You could have done 3 strips of a 1/2 inch if you want to. And these are all cherry tape. Okay. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Okay, for this project, we are using Scorched Timber Distress Oxide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to ink just like this, the back side, right? And then I'm going to fold it, and where there's no tape, so this fin, I'm going to ink that edge. Actually, you probably don't need to ink that edge, because when we go to finish it off, but just in case, let's just do it just in case. When you go to finish it off, you'll be covering that up. You'll be like sealing it in, so to speak. But just in case something happens, we're just going to cover our butts ahead of time. So there's that. Same thing for this. And this little tray here, this is from my essentials set of templates that we make the ink stations and the garbage bowls and things. So if you want to make your own, because there's different ones. This one is for the square ink pads. There's one for the rectangle ink pads, and the smaller ink pads will fit in these sides as well. But there's a whole variation. I have a playlist on that, or not a playlist, I have a video. What do I have? I have a playlist, and I'll link that up there. If there's room, you guys. I might have run out of room by now. But I just want to share all my stuff with you guys. Okay. So now we have two pieces that are taped and inked. So we're going to take this piece, and we're going to lay it in the middle of this piece, and we're going to attach them together. So I'm going to remove the tape backing off of there, and if you line it up, make sure they're if your paper that you're using for your anything, make sure that if it's got a direction, that you make sure you're doing it the right way. But this should fit right here in the middle of this bottom piece. Like that. So now you have it attached down to here in the middle, right? So now we've got 4 fins for this album, right? So now we're going to take this and we're going to attach it to the covers. All right, so you got to decide, if you need to decide, if you've got a front and a back, if there needs to be a front and a back, and what's your favorite side or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You just decide. You just make up your mind. You decide. This will also fit perfectly on your spine laid out like that. Of course, you're not going to be gluing all these down, just the center part. So you want to take the tape off the center of the bottom piece here. And then you want to lay it on here, top and bottom. Try to get it equal. Scooch it over. It's not quite equal yet. Oh, not quite equal yet. There we go. And then we're just going to burnish that down. Okay. So now we have 4 fins attached into our album covers. Just that easy. That was the easiest part, wasn't it? Adding the binding fins, the strips, the binding strips to the cover. That's probably the easiest part of the album. Or the video. I'm sorry. The video. That's the easiest part of the video, isn't it? Alright, you guys. That is done. Our cover construction is complete. So I hope you enjoyed all of my mishaps and blunders, my blunders and fixes, and I hope you guys had a lovely, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have had a lovely Thanksgiving. with your friends and family. And I hope you ate a lot of good food. And I hope you're exhausted like me, because I'm exhausted. If you've ever noticed that when you have family over, like for Thanksgiving or Christmas or birthdays or Mother's Day or whatever, you clean things that you don't normally clean, like not on a regular basis, like the nooks and crannies. Do you all notice you do that like more when you've got company coming? I notice that. I'll clean things that I may notice, but I don't notice. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like if there was a cobweb in the corner of the room, I may not pay any attention to that, you know, like on a normal, regular basis. But when a company's coming, I'm like, oh no, we got to get all that. I just find it funny. Do you guys do that? Let me know. All right, you guys, I am done for today. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want any printing questions, you can leave them down below, and I'll try to jot all these things down and do that video for you guys. All the links are in the description box and the first pinned comment. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, if you're still here after all this time. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.